Hey there. We are coming up to Father's Day very soon. It's Thursday, so it's coming up on Sunday for most countries, I think. I'm not sure if every country celebrates the holiday, but anyway, in Canada we do, in the US, and I'm pretty sure the UK and Australia. So after a miscarriage, Father's Day can be kind of tricky for some couples. Some partners or husbands might be devastated, but others might not even acknowledge the day other than to just appreciate their own father. So, for those partners who are devastated, you want to support them. And yet, when you need support yourself, it's really hard to hold space for another human being when they're in pain. But then there's also some partners who have already moved on and can't figure out why you're still having a hard time. And that lack of acknowledgement on of Father's Day can be it can really feel like a kick in the teeth for you. So I, by the way, had the second type of partner. He he moved on very quickly, and or at least he internalized his grief. I didn't know what he was feeling, and at the time at least, and he wasn't willing to acknowledge Father's Day at all. So, sorry, I'm just checking notes here. Regardless of the way that your partner is taking it, you ultimately feel like you want to be on the same page. At least that's the way I felt. And it would be so much easier if you both felt the same way, right? Is that the way that you feel? I felt that way. Um, and then my therapist said something to me that really helped shift my perspective. And I'm going to share that with you. She said to me, "What would it be like if you had to take on his grief as well as your own?" And that kind of hit home for me because I already felt horrible enough. I mean, I felt all of the grief and sadness and everything that comes with losing a baby. But I also felt like that was all on me. I felt kind of guilty, like I had let him down. And it was my body that was going through all of this. So I somehow felt like I had lost the baby, not us. So even though I didn't blame myself, at least not at first, and not after my first miscarriage, I didn't think I had done something wrong, but I still felt like it was all on me, and I was somehow it was all on me. So if he had felt as devastated as I was, I would have felt even worse. I would have been taking on that as well. So it might actually be a good thing if you're misaligned on how you're taking your loss and how between you and your partner, whether that's a female or a male. It's also impossible for you to go through grief in the same way. The woman, as I said, for me, it's the woman who is experiencing all of the trauma of the pain, the trauma of the bleeding, the all of the physical stuff is happening to the woman who carried the baby. And there's a whole bunch of trauma and grief that goes along with that that the partner just doesn't feel. So it's impossible for you to have the same level of grief, for you to have to grieve in the same way and to show it in the same way. So on top of that, a woman might also have a hospital stay. She might have to go through a DNC or choose to go through a DNC or misoprostol, which is a drug that is a labor inducing drug that can be incredibly painful. There's just so much more that the woman has to deal with on a physical level. So it might be counterintuitive, it might seem counterintuitive, but it's actually helpful to let go of the idea that your partner should grieve in the same way that you are. So now let's talk about if you are someone who has a partner who is devastated. Um, because, as I said, it can be really hard to take on his grief as well as your own. So, the best way to support a partner who is also in grief is to simply hold space for that person. You don't have to actually say a word. Simply, I know and I'm here can really go a long way. It can be the hardest thing in the world, especially when you are in pain yourself, not to try to look for a silver lining or to say something that you think is going to make him feel better, or her if you have a same-sex partner. Allowing him or her to just feel and release their own pain in the way that he or she knows how, that is the best thing that you can do for him and for yourself. So just simply being there, holding that space for him or for her when they are in grief on Father's Day, that will be the best thing that you can do for him and for you. So if you want to go deeper on this conversation, I would invite you to hop on over to my Facebook group. It's called Miscarriage, Love and Loss. And that is a group that is filled with women getting support from both me and from other women in the group from each other after a pregnancy loss. So everyone in that group has had a loss of some sort. And I would love it if you would hop on over there, and I'd love to get to know you there. That is it for today. I wish you much love and healing as you go into Father's Day weekend. Take care.